Hello everybody, it's Tanner Fishies here, back again with a new Ninjago video here on the channel. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look into early Ninjago. We're going to be going all the way back to before Ninjago was even conceived to talk about the ancient martial art known as Spinjitzu. Spinjitzu has been with us since day one. It is a martial art that exists within the world of Ninjago that pretty much anybody can learn and use effectively. You don't need to be an elemental master to learn Spinjitzu, and you don't need to have any sort of special skill to actually learn the martial art itself. But Spinjitzu admittedly does not make a whole lot of sense context-wise. There are so many things about this martial art that have changed over the years to the point where nowadays it's hard to consider Spinjitzu to be one of the more consistent parts of Ninjago's lore. Ninjago as a series has never really been super adamant about consistency though, so this is basically nothing new. In today's video, I plan on going over the things about Spinjitzu that do not make all that much sense, and I will be trying to answer some of the more popular questions related to this specific martial art. The first thing that I want to talk about is the color of Spinjitzu vortexes. What exactly determines the color of a Spinjitzu user's vortex? Of course, when a martial artist uses Spinjitzu, their body becomes engulfed in this tornado-like energy, and obviously, depending on who uses it, the Spinjitzu vortex will appear a different color. We've seen all sorts of colors, from red to green to gold, but what exactly makes up a Spinjitzu color? What is the determining factor in what a Spinjitzu vortex looks like? So the first theory is that the element of the user decides the color of the vortex, because the Spinjitzu vortexes sometimes appear to be elemental in nature. For example, Kai's Spinjitzu vortex can sometimes be seen with flames, or maybe even Cole's Spinjitzu vortex can be seen with small rocks or dirt particles circling around the Spinjitzu user. We've seen this for a lot of different people, but as we mentioned earlier, elemental masters are not the only ones that can use Spinjitzu. Spinjitzu is simply a martial art that can be used by pretty much anybody. But the point still stands. Maybe if the Spinjitzu master has an elemental power, maybe that simply enhances the Spinjitzu vortex, as we saw for example with Misako when she used Spinjitzu. Her vortex appeared to be silver, hence indicating that she does not have an elemental power. Same can be said for that of Doubloon, who is also another Ninjago character that uses Spinjitzu. His vortex was obviously another bland color, so maybe the elemental power does indeed make up the Spinjitzu vortex. But then we get to Pink Zane. This is the only thing in my opinion that goes against this theory of the element determining the color of a Spinjitzu vortex. Of course, if you guys remember, during the earlier days of Ninjago, there was a brief moment in Ninjago history where Zane's ninja costume went from white to pink, and as such his Spinjitzu vortex also changed from a traditional icy blue to just pink. But why? If element determines the Spinjitzu vortex's color, then how come Zane's vortex turned pink? Pink isn't his element, ice is. And even though he did not have access to his ice element at the time, his vortex should have still remained an icy blue. So why is it pink in these scenes? Why does Zane have a pink Spinjitzu vortex if it's the element that causes it? This is a nice segue into the secondary theory in today's video. Maybe it's the color of the outfit that determines the Spinjitzu vortex. And I could see that making sense too. That would explain Zane's pink vortex during season 1, and it would explain a lot of other things as well. For example, Kai's vortex is red. He wears a red ninja costume. Jay's is blue. He wears a blue ninja costume. But I'm not super keen on this one either, for a couple of reasons. For one, Cole uses Spinjitzu a lot, but his vortexes are either orange or brown or somewhere in between. They're never traditionally black. In addition, when Garmadon uses Spinjitzu, his vortex is purple, and he does not wear a lot of purple aside from his belt, and I doubt that would make up the entirety of his vortex's color. This also doesn't really explain why Misako's vortex would be silver, because her outfit isn't really silver in nature. It's more of a brownish tan color, so I doubt that her vortex would be silver either. It seems to me, based off of all of these points, that the color of the outfit is not the way to go here. So what exactly causes a Spinjitzu vortex's color? In my opinion, and in the opinion of several other Ninjago fans, it seems to be a combination of these two aspects. The combination of what a user's element is, if they even have an element, and the current outfit that they are wearing. That would truly explain a lot about the color of some Spinjitzu vortexes used by certain individuals. That would explain why Zane's vortex was pink, and it would also explain why some of the vortexes appear to have elemental properties. In a way, the color of your Spinjitzu vortex kind of depends on both your element, if you have one, and the clothes that you are currently wearing. And I could totally see this being the case. This explains quite a bit, and I'm honestly content with this being the case, that the color of your Spinjitzu Vortex is determined based on your outfit and your element if applicable. Another confusing aspect of Spinjitzu that I'd like to talk about, and of course this is where most of the inconsistency comes into play, the look and style of the Spinjitzu Vortexes have differed very heavily over the years. When Ninjago was first beginning, we got a very clear look as to what a Spinjitzu Vortex looked like. It basically looked like a small tornado, and that look was very consistent all the way up until Season 7. After Hands of Time wrapped up, Spinjitzu took on an entirely different look. From Season 8 to Season 10, the ninja now needed to use warm-up actions of sorts in order to use their Spinjitzu Vortexes. For example, Lloyd would perform some strange hand motions and then he would be able to use Spinjitzu. Zane needed to stand on his head in order to use Spinjitzu, and Cole needed to punch the ground in order to access his Spinjitzu Vortex. The ninja no longer just spun, they needed to do a whole lot of different steps in order to actually access their powers. Of course, during some points of the Oni trilogy, this is not applicable to what the ninja actually do. During some scenes of Seasons 8, 9, and 10, the ninja just simply spin like the old days. And if it's that easy to access your Spinjitzu Vortex, then what is the point of doing all these strange hand motions, standing on your head, or punching the ground? Season 11 Spinjitzu is more akin to that of the earlier Ninjago days. It seems like the ninja just need to spin now, nothing more, nothing less. However, the tornadoes do look slightly different, but of course there is a reason for that. The differences in looks can easily be blamed on the various animation studios that have worked on Ninjago over the years. Different animation studios will have different ways of actually animating Spinjitzu, and as such, every single time Ninjago's animation changes slightly, we saw a difference in how Spinjitzu looked. That would explain the several differences in Spinjitzu's looks that we've actually seen over the years. In a way, I almost blame the Ninjago sets for this. Maybe every time an iteration of Ninjago spinners gets introduced into the public for the Ninjago sets, the show tries to make Spinjitzu look more like the current spinners that are available on the market. That would explain a lot. We hadn't really seen a new spinner up until Season 8, which would explain why, starting with Season 8, Spinjitzu looked a little different. It would also explain the change in Spinjitzu from Season 11 onwards as well, because of Forbidden Spinjitzu being introduced. In general, Spinjitzu is not a very consistent thing. Ninjago is not great at providing consistency, but when they do, they really nail it, and when they don't, it's really noticeable. But for now though, that'll pretty much wrap it up for my thoughts here today. This has been a video breaking down the inconsistency of Spinjitzu. Let me know what you've thought, and let me know what you think about each of these possibilities in the comment section down below. What do you think affects the color of a Spinjitzu user's vortex, and why do you think Spinjitzu has had several different looks over the course of Ninjago's run? Leave all your thoughts down below in the comments, and hopefully you enjoyed today's video. As mentioned, that'll pretty much do it for my thoughts here today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and check out the links down below in the description for other forms of social media. As always, big shout out goes out to my Patreon supporters, including once again the Marvelous Jan. Thank you guys so much for checking out today's video. Once again, my name is Tanner Fishies, and with that I bid you farewell.